don't know if I turned it on. What? Oh, I'm. Let's see. What do I want to talk about? What did I say I was going to talk about? Mechanical integrity. Mechanical integrity, and I'm not talking about I don't have the time to sit. Oh, too late. So I didn't have time to sit in traffic, and don't have a choice now. When I mean mechanical integrity, I'm not talking about the integrity of your engine. I'm not talking about the condition of your engine, which is basically what integrity is, or anything that has to do with keeping your engine running. Okay, it does have to do with keeping your engine running, but it doesn't have anything to do with the current state of your vehicle or anywhere. What I mean by mechanical integrity is basically knowing knowledge of how a vehicle works, how to somewhat fix it. Notice I said somewhat fix it instead of fix it, because nothing that anybody does on their own truly fixes something, because damn, I got what was left of the hurricane in my face. But no one, because you don't have the proper tools to replace it. Most, like 95% of people that do any mechanical work to their cars is done with regular tools that you can get out of the, you can go to your tool chest, or, your toolbox, if you want to say, reach in, grab something, turn around and go back and, go do. So 95% of, that's what I'm talking about. And the 95% that don't have the professional tools, that don't have the money to go rent the professional tool, that just do the tool itself. Alright? I was talking to this guy. Okay, he was talking about his, he wasn't talking about, our friend was talking about problems he was having with his vehicle. He was trying to sell it, and he was trying to tell him about the problems with it. And me and this guy was talking. The problem with the vehicle was, they said that the car was not, what was the car? The car was making noise in the transmission. It was a manual transmission, so they figured the car was making noise because, he thought the car was making noise because there was air in the transmission fluid. Now, obviously, pardon my French, but the very first thing I said after he said that was, clearly, you dumbass. Traditionally, I'm just going to go out on a limb, but traditionally, you're not going to get any noticeable sound that you're going to be worried. Great, don't you do it, don't. Fucking retard. Dumbass. Anyway, back to what we were doing. I forgot what we were doing. I know I was making a vlog, but what were you doing? But traditionally, a sound that you're going to be worried about is never accompanied by there being air in your fluid. There's never going to be any sound that is going to be, because think about it. If you get air in your car brake system, traditionally, and then you get into a lane that's slower, you dumb fuck. But traditionally, if you get air in your brake system, usually your ABS light kicks on and your brakes feel a little funny. You get air in your power steering system, you hear this loud whine, but traditionally you still keep Well, unless you have excessive air, I mean, you still don't have any noise. You just have this whine from the power steering pump, and you don't have any power steering. Or you don't have any power steering, I'm sorry. But there's no sound to make you want to go, oh God, something catastrophic is about to happen. I mean, the whine you hear is from the power steering pump. You don't really, you know it's a power steering pump, so you don't really go, oh God, the car is going to fail. Now, I start the discussion with, well, at least you use your signal, man. I started the discussion with the problem being, what did I say the problem? I said the problem was mechanical. That, okay, he said it was a manual. I said, all right, you have a clutch problem. All right, you either have a clutch problem that's specifically the clutch. Well, actually, I told him you just have something that's associated with the clutch. You have a clutch problem, pretty much what I said. They come with, no, it's got to be air in the system. He said, because he didn't want it to be mechanical and he didn't want to spend any money on it, he just immediately jumped with the guy's conclusion of there being air. And I told him, first off, there's always going to be air in any kind of system like that, because your engine oil and your transmission fluid, they sit in a pan, and a pump sucks it out from near the bottom of the pan to, you know, it sucks it out from near the bottom so it won't accident, even if your car is on a lean or an angle, you won't suck air from fluid. But it's impossible for him to lose prime like that and say that there's the air and there'll be noise. He said he thinks it's fluid. I said, okay, fine. Then why don't your motor make a loud clacking noise when you're driving it along? That was stupid. There's a lot of stupid stuff going on today, isn't it? Oh my God, this is idiotic right here. Lovely day, isn't it? But anyway, don't come out here. Fucking, you gotta love how people turn late on that. But I said, he said, yes it does. I said, no, that's normal operation. The reason you don't hear that clacking sound is because your oil, your system doesn't sit in oil. Your pump pumps the oil through the, go, aren't you the bitch? Now, obviously, I hate it when you give people the opportunity to go, aren't you some shit, walking directly down the middle of the frickin' road. But I'm getting off topic right now. But anyway, I said your oil pump pumps the oil through the motor. Your stuff doesn't sit in your crap doesn't just sit in oil. I said, so there's going to be air in your oil all the time. So why doesn't that make it loud? He couldn't explain it. I said, your transmission is the exact same way. Your transmission pan holds fluid. Your inlet duct or your filter, and most cars doesn't have one. I know my Escape doesn't have one. Sits in the bottom, or sits in near the bottom of the pan, and it sucks fluid from the bottom of it. I said, you're gonna have air no matter what in the system, but what's pumping will not be that way. He said, no, there's air in the transmission. So they, in short, they go and drain the fluid out of the transmission and put new fluid in. Now, he goes and puts the new transmission fluid in, still making the sound. I don't understand. The air is out of the system. I said, no, it's not. There's still air in the transmission. He said, well, how do we get the air out? I said, you don't. They're designed to work like that. So he goes and finally takes the transmission, disconnects the transmission, and unbeknownst to them, the transmission, about 2 inches of the transmission, oh, look at that sky, we're going home. 2 inches of the transmission is, oh, not shit, 2 inches of the 2 inches of the clutch is gone. So they go and replace the transmission, and his very first thing he turns and tells me, I don't understand why there wasn't any material in the transmission fluid for them to know that something mechanically was wrong. I tell him that's probably because the transmission and the clutch don't intertwine. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, probably because the clutch isn't located inside the transmission, which is why when you have problems with your torque converter, you usually can't tell without there, being something else going wrong. He said, I don't understand. How do I explain this? Well, if your torque converter locks up and won't release, there's no way to tell without, something else mechanically going wrong and you noticing. Usually the car stalling, stuff like that. Because it's hard to really find that out, because usually bits of metal, like from the torque converter when it goes into the fluid, usually the magnet takes care of that. So, you can't really find those particles. So they go and replace that. Guess what? Everything's running fine. Oh God, that's so bad. That's so bad. Well, I don't know what's going to kill me first, the rain or other cars. It's been touch and go since I've been riding on what's going to kill me first. Me riding in the rain or being around other cars. I don't know. I'm hoping it's the rain. I'm praying to God that it's the rain.